Welcome to the MiGPit 2020. Here's a quick tour around the new cockpit setup. So this is my default view in Prepare 3D. I've got no instruments on the screen, and what you've got to bear in mind is that with an 85-inch screen, I can't even see the edges of the runway in focus. I have to turn my head like this slightly, or my eyes left and right, which makes the whole experience much more immersive in my opinion. And to look up, I actually have to lift my head up, and as you can see, there's a lot of blue sky above me. That's in fact 2.14 meters above the floor, and I'm sitting down, so that's quite a long way up, which is great. I get a feeling of sky above me as I fly around. Now looking down to the cockpit, if I just lower my head slightly, I see the primary flight instruments and the HUD, so that's great. Let's go further down to the cockpit. There's the main panel. Let's have a look. It's running on Air Manager on an Android tablet from Lenovo. Got some more instruments on the left. Gear, navigation, still working on that panel. My main comms panel down to the left. My main keyboard input panel. It's an Elgato Stream Deck. Air Manager showing me a GPS. Now on this screen, I can reach down and quickly go to, let's say, Chrome. And what have I got dialed in here? Hopefully, yes, my destination, airport, details, etc. So that's good to have. Plus I can have Google Maps. Let's have a look at that. Maps. There we go. Destination airport. Check out where it is, what it's going to look like as you come across to it. Very handy. Okay, let's get back to the instrument view. Oops. Click Air Manager again. We're back into the GPS. To the right of that, I've got my Warthog joystick. Very nice. Very much like the F-16 I've had for 20 years, the Cougar, but they have improved the quality of particularly that switch. It all feels pretty good, but it's the same general layout. Keyboard, which I don't want to touch much, but some keys I'm using at the moment to talk to ATC. I've changed the colour on with Logitech control panel. Soon I'll get the voice attack back up and just do all that using the voice. And to the left, while we're down here, is the Warthog throttle, which I'm still setting up, but looks extremely cool. It's got a whole bunch of actual switches on it, which is nice. Okay, so let's come back to the main view. So once again, that's what I'm mainly seeing. A bit narrower field of view in real life, in focus. If I tilt my head back and down, I can see the whole instrument panel. Great. And I'm flying straight and level, pretty much. Going to look slightly left, lock the view there, turn. So as you can see, I can clearly see my ADI, airspeed, altitude, and a great view out the window as I move my head around. Not track IR, just moving my actual head, and you can see heaps. Like that ground coming up. Okay, let's do a bit of flying around in this default view. I'm heading north out of Canberra Airport at the moment. I'm going to turn back around, find the city. And if I look at my GPS down here, I can see, yep, there I am, tracking slightly northwest. Zoom out a bit. Okay. So once again, I'm not going to change the view. I'm going to use all that screen real estate I've got available to me now. Let's have a go at this. Oops. Heading. Okay, so I'm motoring along about 3,000 feet barometric altitude near Canberra. I can see my ADI down there quite clearly. So I'm going to look left a bit, lock that view, bank. And here we go, I can still read my instruments. I get a great view out the window. Now this I'm doing by moving my head around. Track OR is locked, as you can see. It's an excellent view. Now when I straighten out, I will just re-engage track AR and there we go, centered up, locked into position. Or I can just leave it on and do all kinds of things. Let's try to pull straight up, look right, look ahead, look up, which is going to become down. There it is. Just enough energy to make it over the top, I think, or probably in a deep inverted stall. Yep, I've stopped flying forward. Excellent. And I think I'm irrecoverable actually at this point. Yeah. So a lot of the time I fly around into fixed view with this big screen. And when I say a lot of the time, probably about half and half. I'm always flipping back and forth between fixed view, which is obviously more useful if you've got your heads down the cockpit, looking at a map and you just want to flick your eyes up to see this. Want to see that. Okay. So here I am turning left. You see all the instruments. I don't need to see them on the big screen, because out here we're just looking at the great view. Okay, let's center up the view again. Turning my actual head, not the virtual head. Back to track IR. Looks great. Add some power. Up. Blackout, it's always good. And here's the runway. Let's do that again at idle power, see if it works. Go back to instruments. Look out the front. And yep, on reciprocal heading up at 9,000 feet. Which is what it says on the HUD. Yep, excellent. Here we go. Roll inverted. And see if we can do it in the available altitude. Looking up the physical screen, I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, easy. Lake George, just north of Canberra, and it looks pretty cool. And it's pretty foggy here at the moment. I can't see a thing, so I better go back on to instruments here. Yep, I think I've just flown over the airport. So let's go into a low or a slow circling descent and see if I can spot it. I'm turning my head up to the corner of the screen. And I think it's coming up about right there. Yep. Very low fog.